Hey there, Blade Gang. Welcome back. This old sword here with another fixed blade review and another Y-Start knife review, all wrapped up in one. Saw this on White Mountain Knives and I was intrigued by the blade shape and the Recurve Tanto, and it was coming in as a kind of reduced because of a spot of rust on the knife, which was interesting to me since it's an AUS 10 steel. So a lot of thoughts can go through your mind. Is it really AUS 10 and not D2, so on and so forth? Well, I'm not sure, but I was able to remedy the rust situation pretty easily with a little Flitz polish, which is great for removing rust. It isn't that the whole knife was all rusted and whatnot. You can barely see it. I don't think you can see it at all anymore, but it was right down there and it removed quite nicely. So this is a black washed AUS 10 steel. I'm going to go over some details of it in a moment. The name, if you want to call it a name, is HK5005, and it's a BK for black. Comes in a quite a large box. Let's see if I can back out just a little. With a magnetic flap, space for the knife inside, a little tip protector down there, and I think there was a small catalog of other Y-Start knives. So I reviewed a couple of really nice flippers, and now we have a fixed blade. So before we do measurements on this, let's take a look at it. It's got a massively thick, for a knife this size, blade stock. We're going to measure it up in a minute. Hollow grind complex compound grind Recurve Tanto with a pronounced secondary point there, and it does come through sharpened very well and somewhat aggressively. Lots going on there with that blade. Not sure why they needed these. These can be sort of reservoirs for moisture as well. Does have some very effective jimping on it. They've held the thickness out to the point pretty well. Comes apart with screws, but once again we've got those YK screws. Somewhere in the world is a screwdriver with that design on it. I'm not sure. Haven't tried removing them with a slotted bit. You know, might be able to get it into one portion of that. I'm not sure you need to remove the grips. They're a black G10 with a nice milled in texture. See if I can show that. Anyway, it's got great ergos, plenty to hold on to, nice contoured G10 slabs. Does come in like a brighter blue with a stonewash finish for about the same price of around 40 bucks. This came in a little less, and then the 10% discount dropped it down a little more. I think I paid about $35 with shipping for this, and that's pretty good considering that because of the weight it has to be sent out priority from White Mountain. So I'm always very, very happy with the service from White Mountain and Justin up there. And this knife does come with a very beefy Kydex sheath, nicely done with a, we'll call it a tech lock. I'm not sure of the branding on it. Kind of a generic tech lock that does lock quite well and has a secondary lock up there to keep it from opening. The only thing I noticed is that it was a beast to put in and out of the sheath. It did not come in the sheath, but I put it in the sheath after cleaning it up a little, and it was took a good push to get in, and fortunately easier to get out. I ended up using a little bit of silicone, silicone gun cloth. I kind of rubbed it on there and inside the case, and that seemed to help a lot. So let's take some measurements on this guy. And may need to back out a little more. Fixed blades tend to be a little longer than folders, and I'm set up for folders usually. So we're going to call that 9 inches overall, with a 4-inch blade right to that point of the handle. Those are pretty even measurements, and I got it set up for millimeters here. Yeah, we got a blade stock of 5 millimeters, pretty thick, and we're going to have a thick handle, but it's not a folder. We're going to call it 3/4 of an inch. Wow. So plenty to hold on to there, and then let's see what the naked blade weighs with the lanyard. What the heck? So yeah, we've got 8.625 ounces. And if we were to throw the sheath on there too, we'd have 11.63 ounces. So it's not going to be one of these lightweight knives that's, and I wouldn't advise it for pocket carry. I do have on hand the Tucson TS265 designed by Mazwan Mokhtar for comparison. Smaller and lighter blade, going to be more pocketable if you're getting into front pocket carry. Not as much thickness on the stock by any means. And let's see, got the Artisan Sea Snake, much smaller. And we've even got the Street Beat by Spyderco, which is also smaller. As you can see, Street Beat being one of the more commonly known and carried fixed blades, you can see it's a lot smaller. And if we're looking at blade stock, much thicker blade stock on the 5005 from Y-Start. So I think for the money, if you're looking for a durable, serviceable fixed blade, it'd be hard to go wrong. I mean, the AUS 10 is a decent steel, and I don't know, we might question its rustworthiness. Who knows what happened there, whether some moisture got into the packing and it just sat there for a long time, months in transit or what have you. I don't know, but I know it ain't there anymore, and I'm not worried about it. So don't have a go forward position here really. I'm not going to stick my finger up on the blade. Works well in a reverse grip. If I were to use the knife a lot, I would tend to take that lanyard off. To me, changing grips and whatnot, that just gets in the way. A useful lanyard is going to be the one that if you're working with a knife, it's going to go around your wrist anyway. Paracord lanyards have a good usefulness if you plan on using them for survival purposes, taking them off of there and using them to lash things, tie things up out in the woods while you're camping, surviving, what have you. But to me, this has kind of a defensive look to it, kind of a Marshall blade appeal because of that recurve. When it contacts something on the draw, You're increasing pressure at the point and therefore cutting a little deeper. Have a rounded front grind to this Tanto blade, which is interesting and useful for cutting. And the point drops, and you got a swedge, and interesting mark here. Don't know what the characters mean. Maybe you do. Maybe it's the name of the company. There's Y start there, and there's your OS 10 mark there. So you know, it's interesting, it's different, it was inexpensive, very budgety, and you get a lot of beefy knife for your money. Let me know what you think, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe. This Old Sword, signing out.